Hello, welcome. Sorry I'm a minute late or so. Some technical problems at the last minute. Okay, so plan today is to do a little bit of styling. It's not really a Haskell topic, but a couple of reasons for this. One is that this is the current web app and it looks like shit. So I want to make it look less like shit. And the second one is we can have a little look at Font Awesome and PureScript and Halogen in particular. It's not a lot of programming, to be honest, but it is a chance for me to say monoid occasionally, so that's always fun. So yeah, plan is just to style this enough that it doesn't look rubbish. I'm not very good at styling stuff, but I can make it a bit better, I guess, at least more usable. I guess that's the thing. And if I get that done, I want to have a quick look at the cast page as well, which is this page. And why is that empty? I need to look at why it's empty. But I want to have a look at this page and try and work out how to add some more controls to it, basically to be able to add people and remove people and maybe make them move from participant to host. But I'll see if I get time. The key thing is there's something gone horribly wrong. I'll fix that in a second. The key thing is to just do a bit of basic styling so that it looks less rubbish. Okay, just going to see what's gone wrong. I thought I'd started it. Maybe I did not. Maybe it stopped. What did I call it? What did I call it? API or fish? No, I think what's happened is that I'm not running the API server. So let me just rename this to API and in the right directory, it's cabal run. And it's running. It's fine, it's already in the browser. So reload. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so at the end of the last episode, I set up Tailwind and I did very tiny bit of adding some classes just to make sure it was working. So the reason that the navigation at the top is in a line is because I did just enough styling to make sure it works. I want to do some more styling. I want to chuck in Font Awesome as well because these replace that text. I want to replace with some kind of icon. Yeah, and here we got deletion. I want to replace those as well. And maybe that's it. When it doesn't highlight the fact that this is the currently selected thing, so I'll make that happen. I'll fix the cursor so you can see it's a pointer, so this is clickable, those kinds of things. Maybe the first thing is I'm going to wrap the whole lot in some iterative and find a style to kind of center it a little bit, move it in a bit from the edges. So back to main. The way I had been doing this is just adding these classes in to here. But I'm going to write a helper for that. So in here, I'm going to add something called tailwind.pers, and in here, I'm just going to have a function called classes. I think it needs to be classes, and it's going to take an array of strings, and it's going to return an array of iprops, I think. That's the reason I say that. This thing, when you call class name, I think it gets put into this array, and this array is, oh, it's an array of class names to iprops, apparently. Okay. We can maybe just start by having let's start with the easy thing. Let's start with something that takes a list of text and yeah, we'll return this thing, which is an array of class name to iprop. I think. Let's see how that works. An array of class name to iprop. I think that's what I'm going to end up with. We will export only that. And the definition of this is really easy. So we got some classes, and it's just going to be hp.classes. And then we give it an array, and the array we give it is mapping these things, but for each of them, I want to turn the name of the class into hh.classname of C. HH. Okay, and iprop comes from somewhere. Where's it come from? It's probably HP, but I'm not entirely sure. I kind of think actually I could let it work it out. Let me just delete that for a second. Okay, so I'm going to import this, and I'm going to import this thing from Halogen HTML. Okay, and I'm just going to click that. There we go. And we'll fix this in a little bit. So for all T4 of row type and T5 of type, we're going to take an array of string and turn it into an iprop of class string T4, T5. Apparently, iprop, where does this come from? So it can be hh.iprop. Okay, now, do I need these T4 and T5? Because this says for all R and I, string R, I. So I don't think I need to specialize this as being a row type or a type. I think I can just replace this. I'm going to write for all because that's what I've been doing everywhere else. I can say for all R and I, and then this is going to be R, so this is our row type, and this is some type. Still works. Okay. So in theory, I can replace this with classes. I forgot what the class names were. Let me try it again. So I can replace this whole thing. Oh no, I can't. Actually, I need to leave it in here. So we'll have classes, and then we just give it some strings, and then we'll need to import this. Okay, and that should be slightly shorter. So here we can say classes, and then this just makes it a little bit shorter, I guess. Can I do some one go? So we got classes, and then we'll go to H, and we'll just delete that. Okay, let's see if it works. So I need to start Spago, and I also need to run the Tailwind thing, which was in that. Good enough. Okay, rename this to be Tailwind, and rename this to be Spago. Yeah, that's good. So if I reload this, it should just look the same basically. Okay, but it should make it slightly easier to add new classes. Slightly less typing. So this whole div, I want to say classes. I'm going to do this whole thing, I think, as flex and flex row. Well, I'm not sure that's what I want. Let's just see what it looks like. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted at all. Okay, so let's not do that. But I do want some kind of basic layout, I guess. I kind of need like a getting started. Maybe just add some padding. Actually, that should be enough for now. So I could do like a P6 maybe. Is it P-6? Okay, a little bit of spacing. We might actually not even do that. We might pull the heading back to top. So I would like to do some background coloring. So I could say something, I can make it kind of grayish, can I, like BG Slate 800. Did I copy that? I did not. I did. Okay. I'll probably need to change the color of these elements as well. I was going to get rid of that again, wasn't I? I'll move that somewhere else. So the color of these things, foreground color, text color. So text white would do for now, I think. Let's grab that. And we'll paste it in. Okay. And go back here. Look at that, amazing. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of padding inside here. So I might just do P1. Okay, so not quite the edges. Right, so I will then make, actually I might center those as well. So text center on each of these. Okay, I'm doing quite a lot of stuff here, so let me go back to Tailwind. And I'm going to add a helper called it's like nav item. And that's going to take a string and go to an hh.class name. Not quite. Okay, so it's going to go from. No, that's right. I want. It's not going to take a string. Actually, it's just going to return this whole thing. So we could. This is going to go, I guess, to hh.iprop class, which is a string, and some other stuff we don't care about. I'll do that irrespective of what R and I are. And then we can say nav item. And this is going to be classes, and I'll grab these. Missed. Okay, but I was going to do text center, that was the thing. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's broken. Could I match type? prop width function. Oh, we don't take a string anymore. Sorry, my bad. Okay, and then we'll export it as well. So here we can replace this whole thing. In fact, replace this whole thing with nav item. And should we qualify this? Actually, because instead of having just lots of imports, I could call this tailwinds.navItem. Okay, and same thing here. And here I might as well qualify it and get rid of that. And that apparently as well. Okay. So there we go. It's now centered. Now there's something to do with the cursor. Where did I see cursor? Not there. I guess I could search, couldn't I? Sure, it's almost there though. Interactivity cursor. So it should be cursor auto or cursor default, one of the two. Pointer might be quite nice. So back in here, I can say cursor pointer. There we go. Now it looks like a little finger when you hover over it, which is clearer than not doing anything. Okay, so a couple more things. I'll add a hover color. Somewhere. Background color. So hover, colon, and then something. So we have text white. It wasn't background color I wanted at all. It was hover, text, and then I need a color. So let's go to their list of colors. Somewhere. No. Somewhere there's a list of all the colors that they use. Maybe something at the top actually. Colors, here we go. So what did I do? I did slate before. Let's go for orange, because red is a bit dangery. So something like an orange 400. Is that right? Orange 400. There we go. At least you can see what's hovering over. I'm not a designer, but at least it makes it clear what's happening, how it's working. Okay, right, this is the current page, so I might want that to be highlighted in some way and not be a link. So in here, I'm just going to add a helper for that. So I'm going to say nav item, and what is it going to take? It's going to take, just looking at what things I need to copy and I haven't, this whole time I haven't been showing the code. That's really annoying. Okay, let me go through what I did. So here we have our classes. I wrote a helper for the classes, so it returns. It basically takes a list of classes you pass in, it prefixes them all with class name, and then it returns it as hp.classes, which has got this funny type of hhiprop class string ri. Then there's another helper specifically for the nav items, where the nav items are just hard-coded list of classes that apply to all of these nav items. So all of them will have the same basis, the same text and hover color, centering, and same cursor. Now I'm going to add another helper for generating these things. What I want to do is take the name of the page that you switch to when you click on it, and the text to display in here. And I also want the state, because I want to see if it is the current page. So this is going to take state, and it's going to take a page, and it's just a page change. So if you click on it, and it's going to take some string, and it's going to return one of, oh, I've lost the thing it's going to return. Here, a component HTML. One of those. Is my type called page? Just out of curiosity. Yes, it's called page. Cool. Okay, so nav item, given the state, and we can destructure state a bit. So the state has got current page in it, I think. Let me go and look. State's got current page. So if current page is equal to just the page you pass in, oh, this is a bit complicated. I'm not going to do it quite like that. State page and the name. Okay, so case state of, and now we can say if it is current page, I can maybe destructure that though. Up here, current page. Does it have name punning by default in PureScript? I don't know. Let's find out. So we won't do this. We'll do current page of. Okay, so if the current page is just P, then that's the page it's selected. So then we can say hh.li, and then we give it tw.navItem and he.onClick. It takes a function and goes to change page, passing in P, and it contains hh.text and then whatever that name is. Otherwise, so if it's nothing, or if it is another page altogether, same thing. I actually got the first one wrong. So here we don't want the onClick. Okay, and then up here I should be able to say, so the li, we should just, I think, I need to remember what they were. We should be able to say nav item. So this should be nav item and it takes the state, it takes episode page, and it takes this piece of text. That's what I hope anyway. Okay. So these next two, so we'll say nav item. We're going to take the page. Oh, missed. I'm going to take the page and the name of the page, which is topics and cast. How much type? Because if I got to pass in the state. Okay, name P was shadowed. Ah. Yeah, okay. Is destructuring it, which is not what I wanted to do. We have a two option case statement here, so we could say if current page is equal to just P, then do this, else do that. Okay, page has not got equality. Oh, how do you do this? So this is PureScript deriving equality. Derive instance something. So derive instance EQ page, and it's EQ of page. Did that help? Yes, it did. Okay. Does it work? So it did not seem to work. I'll give it a color as well, just to make it clear. So we'll just give it something like red 600, just so I can see it. So nav item. This is where I want to talk about monoids. Text red 600, or at least semigroups. So what I really want to do is be able to take this Tailwind thing and join it onto this Tailwind thing. And I cannot. This needs to be an array. Because this returns something of type iprop class string and some other stuff. And this returns the same type, iprop whatever. And there's no semigroup instance on iprop. But what I really want to do is join the contents of the iprop together. So I don't know if I can write an instance at this point for another class. I couldn't do it in Haskell. Probably can't do it here either. Worth a try though. Semigroup of hh.iprop where So joining actually, can we do this? AB. No. Let's do it like this. Enable the parse module. What? Unexpected token. Okay. So this is going to be PureScript semi-group instance blah blah. Oh, it's called append. Okay. Right. Oh, that's better. Okay. So this is of type iprop and then some stuff. And this is also of type iprop. And iprop goes from row type to type to type. That's going to be complicated. But we really want to pull the string out. Actually, is it a simpler solution to this? Might be to do that. Right, okay. So I can have two instances of this in my array and it gets sorted out. I think a semi-group instance would be nicer. But if that works, then it moves us forward. So let's go with that. Okay, cool. So you can see the upcoming episode is indeed red, but it wiped out the previous class. So that's not exactly what I want, but it is at least recognizing that this is special. Okay, so I do want my semi-group instance somehow on this. One thing I could do is just always use hp.classes. So don't return the iprop here, just return an array of classes, and then it's up to the caller to wrap it in hp.classes. Or can I somehow destructure iprop? So new type iprop. Oh, this is confusing. And I don't want, see, my concern is that I don't really want to add a semigroup onto iprops. It's only onto these classes. Because I could, well, I don't know how I could do it, but in theory I could do it by joining the classes together. But that wouldn't work if you were joining things that were not classes. So there are other things other than hp.classes you can use, for example, events. So I could change this slightly. So instead of saying, I can say hp.classes of nav item and that. But to make that work, I need to change this type. So we get rid of this, we don't return the iprop anymore. Maybe we could just change this to just be an array of strings. Array of string. Get rid of that. String should have a capital S. Oops, I wanted that. Okay. So instead of saying just tw.navItem on its own, I need to say something like tw.classes of that. Let's put that in place. Okay, it's a little bit wordier, but it's an easy way of joining these things together. Okay, it's now centered. It still has the hover, unfortunately, so we need to I need to get rid of the hover. Okay. I need to override the hover effectively. And the cursor as well. So we could say something like cursor auto or default, maybe default. And if I make this orange 400, I think it was, then the hover color won't matter because it'll look the same. Yeah, okay, so that's no longer looking like a clickable thing, but these things are. Okay. Kind of getting there. Right, so now the stuff inside, I'm going to wrap this all in a div and push it in a bit. So here, it's already in div, so I can then just say tw.classes, and here I want to say padding 6, for example. Yeah, kind of okay. Okay, these things. So this is kind of a heading. This is, whoops, wow, that's a button. This is where I want to put in font awesome. So I want to grab this, just this piece of code, and I'm going to stick it in my index HTML. So we'll pull in font awesome, and then in the episode page, when I'm rendering stuff, where are we rendering the host? Here, render host here. Instead of replace, I want to use, somewhere I had it here, something like a reload. Repeat, maybe rotate. Rotate looks quite nice. Copy code snippet. So we want to end up with this. So it's a button, and the button will contain, do we have an hh.I? I'll drop the word replace. But then we can say hp.classes. We have a, I'm going to keep my Tailwind stuff separately, I think. So classes is going to take hh.classname. Is that, oh, which way around was it? Do you know what? I'll maybe add it in here. So we can say font awesome. It's going to take a string and return an array of string. No, it's going to be more than that. We're going to do the whole thing, I think. So I want to say for all m, and do that, and then fa of some text is, and then we should be able to say hh. Is it hh.i? It's, yeah, I think it's hh.i. Let me just give it nothing at the minute. Okay, we can pull an h as being halogen, I think. HH as being halogen, oops. Action. For that, I guess. Ooh. Unknown type action. And we want to import a data constructor from Halogen, I think. Which is not doing properly. Where does action come from? Oh, it's a data type here. Okay. So can we say for all AM and not care what this A is? Let's find out. Yeah, kind of. Oops. Okay, and then we can export this. So in here we want some classes. So it's going to be hp.classes and then hh dot class name, and then it's going to be, oops, what have we got? FA solid and then FA and then whatever this T is. So we'll go FA solid. I might make this FA solid. And then hh.class name of FA dash joined to whatever T is. So just bracket that up. Like that. Got too many of these, so that. Okay, and this is going to be FA solid. So back in here, where have I broken it? So render host. We've got a button and it's going to contain FA solid. I qualify this as Tailwind, FA solid and rotate. And then we need to import this. Okay, it's saved. There we go. So now we have a button where we can rotate stuff. I guess is good. The other thing we'll do is we'll just put a little bit of a margin on it. What is here I want? Okay, so this is no two things, and then we'll have hh.className And I think I should be able to do something like M2. There we go. And then we might make it smaller. But let's leave it like that for now. Okay, so clicking that, we'll rotate it. Okay, and then I can do the same thing for these participants. So for each participant, instead of HH text replace, I can say tw.faSolid rotate. Okay. So we still need a bit more styling here, but at least we've got some icons. And then these suggested topics, this select thing. What fun things do we have for select? Check. Don't know which one to go for. Let's go for square check, maybe. So topic, I'll come back to clear in a second. So this, we can say something like tw.faSolid, and it was square check, I think. Square check. Okay. Take that and then clear. I probably just want a dustbin or a trash can. Trash. 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 So tw.faSolid trash. Okay, it was fine. Then we cleared up. Maybe instead of trash, we can have something like an X. X mark. Yeah, maybe a bit better, not quite sure. Okay, topics. Again, to delete stuff, I'm going to just put trash can, and then we'll need some styling around this text thing. Yeah, let's go topics. So where we have delete, we will do tw.faSolid trash, and we'll import that. Okay, and then on the form, particularly on the input, I want some kind of styling, and we probably just want a border. That should be good enough, I think. Border color, or maybe just border black. So I can say tw.classes and then border black. Not quite. Let's make this so the input class border black, which should give it border color, but it's not showing very well. Border width, probably need some kind of width. I guess it's got a border width. Yes. Let's do border width 1. Okay, not great. Oops. Try that again. Can I edit that? Border width 2. He's not saying a border width. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, it's border dash 1. Or even just border. So border and border black. There we go. Okay, it's not amazing, but at least you can see it now. Okay, and then in the cast, no styling here at all. Okay, and no functionality. So let's do this again. So upcoming episode. Where we say render episodes, we just jump straight into DL. I don't think I want a DL at all. But let's start with hh.div. No, let's not. We're already in div, so let's do. Oh, we do need a div because we want to put more than one thing in it. Okay, so we can say hh.h1. We might want to start in a minute, but let's see. So hh.text, and we will say upcoming episode. Okay. And then we will say render host. I'm going to get rid of these DTs and DLs. And then we can say hh.h. In fact, let's just say render host, render participants, and render topics. Something like that. So render host. I'll have a div. I won't have a DT, but let's have some kind of h2, and then this won't be a DD at all. Let's just do it as a paragraph for now. And participants, we can have an hh.div. It's going to end up with so many divs here, but it makes life easier. And then we can have hh.h. Oops, h2, and we'll say participants. And then we'll have the UL. Oh, this needs hh.text. Okay, and then render topics. Right. So we either have a topic that we've picked. So it's going to be hh.h2. And this will just be a P. And suggested topics. This can be an H2 again. And these things, we don't need a DL. So that whole thing I can just get rid of that, and we'll have a UL, then a form, something like that. Render participants, what does that need? It's in rev strings, so let's not take that, let's take an episode. Take E in there, and then we will map this over E dot participants, it was. No participants yet, and then delete that. Okay, what's that look like? Amazingly unstyled, but this should be an H1 now. And then we've got Dave, who's got an H2 and then some stuff inside it. Okay. Right, so just a little bit of font styling, text styling, so we can have something like font size. And let's make it extra large. Text XL, or maybe 2XL, we'll find out. So this this H1, I think I want to say tw.classes, and we will give it text 2XL, text XL. And we'll give this host, we will say tw.classes text L. Look at that. Not really that amazing. So this one is 1.25 and this is not. So large is standard, it seems. Oh, it's LG, that's why. LG and XL seem to be the same, more or less. Okay, I might also just put a little bit of weight on it, so maybe a bold and a semi-bold. Text XL, text bold, text LG, text semi-bold, yeah, could be bigger. So I'll make that 2XL, I'll make this one XL. Okay, so I can also to host. I just want a bit of, is it MB for below? Can't remember. Yes, it is. Okay, so we'll do host, blah, 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 and participants. This one actually, I will do MA2. And then we have participants, same thing. So I should really move to the helper. TW classes, TW.h2. So in here, maybe not with the font awesome stuff, maybe here I can do an h2 is an array of string. And then say h2 is equal to this stuff. Okay, and we'll export that. You should be able to say TWH2. Unknown value TWH2. Why? Oh, because it's messed up. Okay. Host participants might have a bit more space above it. Did I put any space in it? Did MA2 and here something about spacing, maybe. Where have we got margins? Spacing. Oh no, that's not what I want. Spacing margin. So MT and MB. It's not above, it's top and bottom, not above and below. Okay, a little bit of space there. And then down here we have this. I can say tw.classes of tw.h2. And the same for suggested topics. It should be a helper, I guess, but anyway. TWH2. Okay, host is Freddy, participants, suggested topics. This is a form somewhere, or is it not? Or any arbitrary topic. Okay, this or any arbitrary topic. We've got an input again, and I wanted to say tw.classes, and it's going to be border and border black. But really, I probably want to pull this into a helper. So I'm going to call this input. Input is equal to that. Export it. Tempted to export everything actually. Oh, it did it already. I'm not sure I have anything here that I don't want to export. Okay, and then we can go and type some stuff. I might just put a bit of padding on that. Just a tiny bit. Okay, you can type in it. Now I've zoomed in 240, so this is what it looks like normal size. Let's zoom in a bit. 150, how much of it's zoomed in here? 150. Okay, so everything's quite small, but it's fine. So we've got Freddy, we can replace it. This I want to make tiny. Well, not tiny, but smaller, certainly. So I should be able to say something like text small, text SM, or text XS. hh dot class name text XS. Yep, I think that's slightly better. Okay, so I mean it's not amazing, but it's more usable. Not sure about this icon. Anyway, so topics I could style in the same way, and cast I could style in some way. You get the idea. I'm going to stop here. Yeah, so I've got some styling. I've got some ways of reusing styles in the PureScript stuff. Next week what will I do? I might just finish off styling these things and then finally add the missing functionality to the cast. Yeah, because then I can definitely leave it at that point and move on and finally go and write some Haskell again and look at replacing the database with a real database. Okay, cool. So yeah, sorry for all the lack of Haskell in this. There was at least a little bit of PureScript, but not a huge amount. It's mostly just me trying to work out some styling. But yeah, maybe next week we'll finish up the front end stuff and then go back and do some interesting stuff the week after that. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.